In this video, we're going to be going over how to graph all of the functions that we have learned so far so that you can use it in your systems of equations solving by graphing section. So the first thing that we're going to remember or remind ourselves how to do is how to graph a line. So when we graph a line, we are given slope, that is the number or the coefficient of x, and y-intercept is the constant. We start by going to the y-intercept, which is 4. Then remember, slope is rise over run, and I can always make it a fraction. So we're going to go up 2 over 1. And just to get used to making as many dots as possible, because that really helps when we are graphing our two equations, we do that and then connect them to make our line. In number 5, our slope is the coefficient of x still, which is -1. Our y-intercept is 2. I can make the -1 a fraction by putting it over 1. I start at my y-intercept, and this time I'm going to go down and to the right. And just remember, positive slope lines from left to right, if I put a car on it, would go up, but this one has a negative slope. So if I drew a little car, he should go down from left to right, and then I know I have done the slope correctly. Those we learned last year. You should have learned how to graph those last year. Here's some parabolas in our 3 different forms that we learned last semester. So when I do a parabola, instead of, I have it written down below. Instead of slope and intercept, I have A, which is our growth rate. My A here it's whatever comes before the squared. This is a -2. My vertex this is in vertex form. This is my H and K from vertex form. So 4 and 1. Remember, X changes signs. So I can graph this one right away. I have all the information that I need. I can go to 4, 1, which is right here. And then remember that my growth rate for parabolas, my basic one, is 1A, 3A, 5A. So if A is -2, I do 1 times -2, which is -2. So I'll go to the left one and down 2 and mirror it on the right. Then I want a lot of dots, so I'm going to keep going. And then I'm going to go to the left 1, but 3 times 2, -2 is -6, so I'm going to go down 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And at that point, I can't draw anymore, and I connect my arrows. I try to make it as curved as possible. There's that parabola. So this one is in vertex form. Okay, the next one is in standard form. Okay, and then to remember to find our vertex in standard form, I am going to do -b over 2a and then plug it in to get the y point of my vertex. So in this equation, my b is -8, so -8 is 8 times 2, and a is 1. And when I solve that, I get a 4. All right, then what I can do is everywhere there's an x, I'm going to plug in a 4. Okay, 4 squared is 16 minus 32 plus 13, and I'm going to use my calculator for that. You guys know how well I'm at doing math. Okay, and then my growth rate is still my A. It's right there, which is a +1. So I go to 4, -3, and then I have 1A, 3A, 5A. Well, this one's easy because A is 1. So I'm going to go over 1, up 1 on both sides, over 1, up 3 on both sides. Usually that 5 doesn't fit, but some of them I will, so make sure you check it. All right, the next, this one is in intercept form. All right, so our A is 1. It would be the number here. The x's will get squared when we multiply them together. Here I don't have a vertex yet, but I can figure it out. So 3 and 5 are my x-intercepts. I can graph them. My vertex is going to be in between. Remember, the axis of symmetry runs in between them. And if my growth rate is 1, I can kind of do it backwards because I know that my parabola has a positive growth rate, and so my arrows need to point up. So what I'm going to do is go backwards from my x-intercepts to get that point, and then I can go over 1 up 3, and my 5's not going to fit. And now that I have it graphed, I can fill in my vertex, which is 4, -1. Okay, lastly, we have a circle. And we know it's a circle because we have x squared and y squared. This is what we learned in our last lesson. The center of our circle, remember, it changes signs again. So this is 2. There's nothing with the y, so it's 0. The radius, that's r squared, so we need to do the square root of 9, which is 3. So I'm going to go to my center, which is 2, 0, and then out in the 4 coordinate directions, northeast, southwest, or up, down, left, right. And then I'm going to do my best to draw a circle. And that is how you graph all of the basic forms that you will need, or basic shapes that you'll need for this lesson.